Let's begin at the back of our mat, rolling the shoulders back a bit just to prepare as we tuck our chin and slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Coming up halfway, and then exhale, lowering down. Let's walk out into a plank, holding here for a few breaths. Slowly lowering the knees down, coming into a cat and cow. Inhale, lifting the chest, exhale, rounding. Keep going at that pace, deciding how big your cat and cow is based on what your body needs today. Just one more cat and cow here. And then place your hand at the back of your head coming into our T-spine, where we bring our elbow to elbow and extend that top arm up to the ceiling. Finishing it out here, we'll switch sides, extending up and elbow to elbow. Keeping the hips as stable as you can. Just a couple more here. Lowering that hand down, finding a neutral spine, tucking the toes, and lifting yourself back into a downward dog. Settling into this pose, we're going to do some trap raises. So you're just lifting and lowering, pressing the floor away and releasing. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Staying in this downward dog position, we're going to lift the right leg up, extending here. Now taking that knee, bending it and bringing it outside the right elbow and extending it back. As we bend, we find a plank and extend back into that downward dog. Last time. Now extending the leg, we're going to draw it into center this time. Trying to touch the knee to our chest and extending back out. Last time like this, drawing the knee in and out. And now we'll cross the body, knee to opposite elbow and extend. Coming to plank, downward dog. 2 more times. Final time. Extend and hold here. Bending if you want to get an extra stretch in the hip. Extend it back out, lowering down, taking a bit of a break in a wide-legged child's pose. Allow yourself to settle here, and if you want a little more shoulder opening, you can tent the fingers and straighten the arms. Slowly drawing yourself back up to the hands and knees. We'll tuck our toes, coming back into that downward dog to repeat this all on the second side. Extending now the left leg, drawing the knee to outside of the left elbow. 2 more times. If you want to add the breath, it's inhale as you extend, exhale as you pull in. Now drawing the knee into the center. Drawing the knee as close to your chest as you can. Center and back. Crossing the body. We did one less of the center on this side. That's my bad. And last one, drawing the knee across and extend. Holding here, bending at the knee if you like for an extra stretch in the hip. Extending that leg back up and lowering down. Wide-legged child's pose, resting here. Slowly drawing yourself back up, and this time we'll bring our feet forward, legs in front of us. Let's tuck and extend the sits bones. So feeling the sits bones curl under and then point straight down at the floor. This is your neutral and supported pelvis. Coming into that supported pelvis, draw the knees in toward your chest. You should feel the abs activated here. Maybe extending the legs and the arms. Holding here in a boat pose, maybe lowering down a little bit and straightening the legs. This is a boat pose, but also a hollow body. Drawing the knees back in, keeping the toes up if you can to stay engaged in the abs. And extending back out. This time maybe bringing your hands to your chest, so it's a little more weight for your abs to stabilize. If it's too much, you'll keep your arms reaching toward your toes. Drawing it back in, same thing, toes hover. And extend back out. This time, if you want, reaching your arms overhead into a more traditional hollow body, maybe even lowering further down if it's available to you. Holding your position just a little longer. And relax. Shaking it out, doing any other supplemental movement you need in this moment. Let's extend our arms overhead, doing a Pilates roll up just to get ourselves back up to the seated position. Maybe touching the toes and relaxing the back here in a seated forward fold. Coming up, drawing the knees in and back onto the hands and knees. Going down onto your forearms, extend your legs back into a forearm plank. Option to stay here or dip your hips down to the right and then the left, drawing a little rainbow with your pelvis. Keeping the shoulder girdle as stable as you can as you move your center. For 3 and 2, last one, and center. Holding here just a little longer. And relax, taking a brief moment here in a child's pose. Slowly coming out of it and coming onto your right side. Forearm comes down and you choose your preferred side plank variation. Extended legs, knees bent, top leg extended. We're also going to get our shoulders, hips, and ankles all in one line. That's very important. And then go ahead and extend on up. Arm threads through and extends to the ceiling. So we're hovering here in our plank, pushing the floor away, hollowing out the armpit. One more, hold here, and little pulses up, 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 up. 3, 2, 1, and we hold and lower down. Staying on your side, allow your shoulder to shrug and allow your rib cage to melt toward the floor. You should feel a nice little side stretch. Now we'll come back to a plank position in the center. Back on the forearms, extending the legs out behind. We're gonna rock forward and back. You always have the option just to hold the plank, and of course your knees could be down as well. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, we'll hold the plank. Then lowering down the knees, taking a short child's pose break. Transitioning to side plank on the opposite side. Coming down to the forearm, using your leg position and getting yourself set up in a row. Lifting on up, hollowing out that armpit, extending the top arm. And here we go, threading through and extend. Through, arm up. Just a few more. Last one. Hold here, little pulses up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold on 10. And relax it down. Same stretch here, sinking into the shoulder and the rib cage down to the mat. Should feel a nice side body stretch. And slowly coming up. Make your way onto your hands and knees and then extend the leg back one at a time into a plank. Here we're going to do scap push-ups, which can be done on the hands and knees. Without raising your shoulders to your ears, you're drawing your shoulder blades together and apart, squeezing toward the spine and spreading. And here we're just going to hold with that protraction and then extend the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into a downward dog, bending one knee and straightening the other. It should feel really nice and restorative. Pushing the floor away here. And then lowering down, optionally coming into a melting heart or a child's pose. Melting heart just means that you're bringing your chest toward the mat. Maybe your chin is untucked as well, with your arms reaching ahead. Just a couple more breaths here. Slowly coming out of it, coming down onto the mat. Bringing your forearms together, you'll walk the top arm and the bottom arm away from one another so that you can rest your upper body on top of the spread apart arms. You should feel a big stretch in the back, and if not, it may mean that you have a little more flexibility here, and I encourage you to do a different stretch that you need at this time. Here, breathing in between the shoulder blades and the back space is really helpful for getting the most out of this stretch. Slowly unwinding, resting in the center before we go to the other side. Again, you'll place your forearms together with the other arm in front and then start to inch your way into the full extent of the stretch. Resting your chin on your arms and settling in to feel the broadness in the back so that you can deeply breathe into the back space. Slowly make your way back to center, resting here. Press yourself back and then come to a seated position of your choosing. Let's do a few shoulder rolls before we go into neck stretches. Allowing the ear to drop to the shoulder, drawing it up and going to the other side. The next time our ear comes to our shoulder, drop your nose toward the ground and bring it back up, nodding your head no off to the side. A couple more like this before we'll hold the pose, allowing the chin to be dropped toward the chest slightly at this angle. And now rounding the chin toward the chest, nodding the head no, or thinking of it as drawing a smiley on the chest. A few more like this. And now we'll bring our head over to the other side and we'll nod our head no at the angled position. Now let's hold the chin down, stretching the side of the neck at this angle. Let's slowly bring our head back up, roll the shoulders a few times before we go into lifting our chin and dropping our chin to our chest. Nodding our head, we lift and lower. Last one, lift and lower, bringing your gaze to neutral, dropping ear to shoulder, rounding all the way through. Going to the back if you feel comfortable doing so, otherwise you'll do half circle. Keep going in the same direction. Taking as much time and being as gentle as you need to be. Pausing here at the side, reversing, going back, lifting the chin, going to the side, chin drops, and one more circle in this direction. As the chin comes to center, we'll roll it up. And thank you so much for joining me today.